and welcome to another episode of Influence and Growth Mastery. Today, I have a very special friend who is joining me for the interview today, Lafonya Matthews. I love her name because it's so much like mine, Lafonya. I met her on Alignable and we connected and have formed this great relationship. And so she and I have had several conversations, and I wanted to bring her on the podcast today and meet with my audience. And so, Lafonya, welcome. Very warm welcome to you today. Thank you for joining me. Tell us who you are, what you do, and meet the audience today.
Well, thank you for having me, Tonya. It's a great pleasure to be invited. Thank you so much. I am Lafonya Matthews. I'm a business consultant. I specialize in life and health insurance products. And I am excited to be here. I can't say that enough. It's always nice to be invited to a platform where I can, for once, talk about myself. A lot of times I don't get to talk about myself. So I'm really excited to do that today. So thank you for
that. That is always fun.
It is. So a little bit about me, Tonya, just to give you a little background from where I come from and where I'm at now. Yes, I do come from corporate America. I worked in the skilled nursing industry for over 17 years as a business manager. And after COVID, just putting in so much time there, the industry started to change within itself with just even being able to staff these places. So I had took a hard look at how old I was getting, where life was going. And I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, work for myself. And I finally branched out, got my life and health license and stepped out on faith. I started off in the industry with a captive company where I could only sell those products for that company. And even during that process, after going through it for almost a year, I just still felt like I didn't work for me. I felt like I worked for them because they had such control over what I could and could not do. And that's not why I stepped away from corporate America. I stepped away from corporate America so that I could get my time back. That was something that was becoming very important to me as I was getting older, as I am getting older. So I recently branched away from a captive company and stepped more into more of a broker role where I can now not only help people with companies and employees and help them implement and enhance their employee benefits. Now I can also help solo entrepreneurs, people that I meet in the grocery store, anywhere I'm at, because I also partnered up with Five Rings Financial. I partnered up with a great team. I have a wonderful VP. Her name is Erica Moore. And just to be a part of her team, I felt then, not that I wasn't supported in the beginning of my entrepreneurship. I was, I never take away from platinum benefits. Those girls, I tell you, they are go-getters. And you can't take anything away from go-getters. And I can't take anything away from the products that they do serve, which is Colonial Life. I think Colonial Life is a great product, a great company to work for, but I just didn't feel like the best fit for them at the time. But to step in with Five Rings Financial, they offer an educational platform, which has made my life easier because, Tonya, I was 49 years old when I learned that, annuities, you can invest your earned income in. We're not very educated, a lot of us, in what is available out there for us when it comes to retirement. A lot of us are set on 401k, and that's all we know. So for me to be 49 to learn about annuities, all these other different options to save for my own retirement was so eye-opening. And then the platform that we use with Money 101 is such an educational platform. It just really opens your eyes to what you didn't know. So to be a part of that team and to really be able to offer that to others, I've seen it help others. I've seen it open the eyes of others and really educate them. So I'm very glad to be a part of that platform and now be able to offer annuities as one of my products and services.
I love that. So let me ask you a clarifying question, and then I want to go back to 2020. Okay. So are you saying when you joined them, not only, did you get skilled in order to sell what you're selling, but they have the training platform for you to get the skill set that you got? Were you able to get all of the training hands-on from a training platform from Five Rings Financial?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The training platform is phenomenal. And it's offered weekly. And for me, the older we get, we need repetition to remember. We need to hear it again and again till it sinks in, right? So, yes, we have a great educational platform. The team growth and the team building that they do is phenomenal. You really feel like you are supported in the industry. There's not anything that I necessarily have to do alone that I don't want to do alone. So to be a part of the Five Rings Financial team, supported with the team itself, the education that is offered, and the education that we offer others really makes me a complete package. It makes me a complete package.
See, that's
that wants to join us. It makes me a complete package. That's someone who's ready to take the part of putting their retirement and portfolio together. Ideal, because
I love it. So
just what these portfolios should look like. So I think it's out of all that I've met out here since I've been networking over a year. It has been one of the most impressive platforms that I got to witness as, just a viewer and then to join.
So here's where I want to go with that. And here's the reason I asked that question. You mentioned you're getting ready to turn 50. I'm in my 50s. You left the corporate world, the 9-to-5 job back in 2020.
No,
I left
2022. I left May of 2022.
You left
22. Mm-hmm. I got my license in 2021. But I felt so committed to the actual organization. I felt so committed. There's a calling on all of our lives, right? And since I was a small girl, I've been around nothing but elderly people. I was raised by elderly people. I can't get in and out the grocery store. Elderly people attracted me. So it took a while to kind of disconnect that. And even when leaving, my first step was not to do life insurance. My first step was just to do health insurance and do the Medicare rim, because that's the rim I come from. That's the comfortable rim, right? I deal in Medicare and Medicaid like the back of my hand. So
now, what year was that?
That's 2020.
What year was that? 2021.
Mm-hmm. I left in May
that you left there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here you are in your 50s. I'm in my 50s, but my point is you made a decision later in life to make a pretty good change from insurance to what I'm going to call securities, annuities, right? So you had to make this shift. So here's where I'm going with this, because people today, I talk to people today who are stressed out, burnout, they've hit the wall, and they're in their 40s. I've got a message, my computer. I hope it doesn't restart in the middle of this. They're wanting to make a shift, Lafonya, but they're scared to death to make this shift their 40s, 50s, 60s. But you made the shift. I made the shift in 2019. Mm-hmm. And you joined a company that had a training platform that gave you everything you needed to learn your new role and get prepared to do annuities. I did annuities way back many years ago and had to get licensed to do it then. I didn't pass my first test to sell annuities. I had to take it twice. What'd you say?
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I remember practicing with my brother-in-law, who at the time was an insurance agent. And oh my goodness, it was hard. And I was much younger then, but to have had something to study and practice on like what you did would have made it easier. And so I tell people today, step out of your comfort zone because there's so much more technology today that helps you prepare to become an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, small business owner, whatever you want to call it today, but to step out and enjoy working from home, because we all know people who have experienced during the COVID period of time, epidemic time, pandemic time, whatever you want to call it, that got the taste of working from home and then had to go back into the office. They don't like it. They want to go back to home. But those of us that continue to work from home, who love it, create our own schedules. We do work hard. We have to work hard. We have to make money. But this late in life, I choose freedom. I choose the beach. I choose my own schedule. And so I'm bringing this out because you made a tough decision to make a career change, and you did it.
I did.
There had to have been fear.
Absolutely. It was
self-esteem, fear and change. And people don't like the discomfort of fear. They don't like the discomfort of making change. But you did it and went through it, but you had the tool to get you there. And so, I want you to speak just before we go on a little bit about that, because again, I'm telling people all the time, you can make the change. People are making the change all the time in their 50s. And even I'm seeing people do it in their 60s because the technology is available today to help you make that career change. You went from insurance to selling annuities and health benefits and all these things. So talk about that transition for just a few minutes before we go on to the next step.
Well, I tell you, I think it starts with a good support system. And for someone like myself, I'm not a college graduate. So it took me time to build up to where I was. It took a while. It took an actual move across the country for me to get into an income zone that was livable, right? We get out here to Washington. I literally got a $15,000 a year increase in just salary alone, doing the same thing I did in the South. So when stepping out to leave, the fear that I had is, yes, I'm getting older. Another fear for me was technology, because I work for corporate America. So, something goes wrong with this computer, I can just call the help desk, But when you're in here in your home office, there's no help desk. And you're like, what? So
I get it.
It's been one of my biggest hurdles is the technology and being responsible for getting my computer up and getting it ready and and getting ready to go and not having that boss. I can remember first starting out, and like if I clicked on Facebook, I would get nervous inside because, when you're at work, you can't be on Facebook. You can't be on Instagram looking at stuff. And I could literally feel the nerves inside of me shaking up because I was so corporate America. But jumping those hurdles, and then you have your personal hurdles with you getting older. At the time, I'm going through menopause. I don't know what to expect there, but each day it's happening. I'm changing. I'm getting older. I don't have the energy I used to have. And I was kind of under this impression in my mind that because I'd worked so hard for others, like when I stepped out, easy breezy, I made millions for corporate America. Now it's my turn. I'll be able to just step out. Anytime I ask you if you want life insurance, you're going to sign right up. No. I've never heard no so much in my life until I got in this office of my own. It was no. I mean, I started off making like 50 to 80 calls a day. So, imagine just calling back to back. No. And I'm in here like, what have I done?
It's real. It's real.
And the fear is there. I didn't have the support that I wanted. I would have loved if my mom and all those around me were like, yes, go into business for yourself. But, they're old school. They're like, don't quit your job. Don't do that. My husband was a very good rock for me. He helped in the ways of just like, take it easy, go in your office, do what you do, it'll come. So he was more of a support. My kids were very supportive, but my parents was like, you sure about this? And which it gives you doubt, but you do have to work on overcoming those things, finding a group of people. A lot of people step out and open a business that is maybe selling things and things like that. So I can't speak to that, right? I don't know what it is to like open an online business and a ship to order type of business. But if you're going into insurance, you can find an organization where you have a VP that, helps guide you, helps you with your appointments, and that can take you up under their wing because they have many years of experience in the field and really coach you into your independence in this field. I can speak to insurance, not to many other things, but if you can find confidence in yourself, I say adjust quickly when something's not working, put something else in play, bounce off of smart people. I don't think it's very good to surround yourself with people that are not there to benefit or help you, and vice versa. You can help them. So if you get yourself a good circle, deal with those daily challenges. I'm a prayer, so I have to take a lot of things to prayer, and especially when it comes to just dealing with the way I feel about me, because that reflects when you're trying to do business with others. You have to have a confidence about yourself. And confidence does come with knowledge, but it also just comes with in just trusting it, just trusting the flow and going with it and learning new things, being open to it. And it can happen. It doesn't matter what age you are. I have come to learn that after my year out here. It doesn't matter. You can do it. You can be 60 and do it. You just have to want to do it and want to put the work into it. You have to want to put the work into it. That's it.
I completely agree. You mentioned earlier the teamwork that you have in your current company and how the support that you get there. Talk about the importance. It seems like today, every single call I have been on, there has been this mention of teamwork and building community, and you can't do anything on your own. I agree with that. It takes a village to do anything anymore. Even though I run my own business, people are so helpful in partnering with you with anything that you need. So talk about the support that you get and even the things that you do. So share there.
So I met Erica more just like I met you, right? We did a one-on-one. I think we were on that HNP, the Happy Network Project
Yes.
platform. We did a one-on-one, and I remember in that she invited me to Money One-on-One, and I thought it was important for me to get my children on the platform as well. And I remember going on Eventbrite, that platform. And like I say, technology is not always my friend, right? So I jump on there and I'm trying to get to her and to get it set up. And I wasn't very successful. And I met her in like the summer months. So just going through the process, months later, I never did get on the platform. I told my daughter about it. She never got on the platform. So months later, I'm going through and I meet another 5 Rings financial person. And when she told me she was from 5 Rings, I was like, oh, I remember meeting Erica, and I've got to try to figure out how to get on that platform and watch this, Money 101. So when I got on it, immediately, I don't know how to describe the feeling. Some people can just draw people in. I feel like she has that to just draw people in. And then like once you
had an immediate connection with her. You had an immediate connection with her.
Energy. And then you also I can receive the info that's being delivered here. I honestly got all into Money One-on-One. I was like, oh my God. And then when I hung up, immediately I want an annuity. I immediately wanted to know more about how can I, at 50 years old, get this portfolio and broaden it. So just in that, circling back to her, joining her team, being welcomed in, getting on the calls where it's team meetings and just seeing, the like faces, hearing the like stories. And then now when I'm in a situation where I am calling and talking with someone and there's an appointment, I can just jump on, get her right on the phone, and she just walks me through it. And then joining Women, Wine, and Wealth.
Wow.
That's another platform we have. Very supportive. So it's just so many little pieces that come together that make it so whole with 5 Rings Financial. That's what I would have to tell anyone that was looking to join us. We have all the little pieces that make it whole. And like faces, like-minded, drive for success, just really builds that team. And it's a place where I feel like I even have a voice. I have a voice, you have a purpose. Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I do have a purpose. I've always helped people in one way or another. If I'm not helping you with your mom and dad in this situation, going from short-term to long-term in a skilled nursing, I'm helping. I have, resources. I know people. If you're looking for this, well, let me connect you with this person. Let me connect you with that person. Now I'm being able to help to say, this is something you don't know about. This is something that you're going to need. Inflation is what now? Up 6% now. Let me guide you, give you a resource that helps you. Even if you're not going to do business with me, right? After you go to Money One-on-One, the door has been opened. You now are a little further educated in what it's going to take to retire where you want to retire. That's where we're at, So yes, being a part of a team, I feel it was important for me. And not that I wasn't a part of a team before 5 Rings Financial. I was a part of a team, but it was a different team. I think it was a team, if I'd have joined in my early 20s and 30s, would have been right on point. But as I've gotten older, like just cold calling business after business after business, I don't feel like that's where I'm at in life now. I'm more in a personal relationship type of thing, like how I've met you and how we've stayed in contact and we can get on the phone and have a good time and catch up. I'm there now. I'm not that quick salesperson that wants to jump on the phone and quickly sell you this insurance and move on. It's a real relationship with me. It's real growth. And any other way that I can help you, I have affiliate partners that I can definitely connect people with that help their business. So it's just about relationships now. It's even not about sales. It's about relationships because, at the end of the day, God blesses. He blesses, he don't let me down. He shows up and shows out for me. He just blows my mind every day. So it's about relationships. And I believe being a part of the team, Tonya, is what gives me the opportunity to make great relationships out here, which I have.
Yes, I agree. And I think your business has been just like my business. It has been built upon relationships and referrals. And, we get bombarded with in-mail through LinkedIn of people wanting to sell us things. And, how do you do your lead generation? Can I sell you this lead gen tool? And I'm like, I don't do business that way. My business is built upon relationships. Yeah. If you want to sell me something, you first have to build a relationship with me. Absolutely. Because that's the only way I'm going to buy.
And then, weed it out with them very quickly. Because if you're taking the relationship approach and they're on the sales approach, it goes dry. Conversation
Absolutely
goes dry. But, not like you can dedicate a whole 8 hours to talking to someone, but you have 15 to 20 minutes to talk to someone.
Absolutely.
And just be genuine. And if you can't do that, then I know that your product and services I might buy, but I bet you it's going to come later down the line when I meet someone that invested that 15 to 20 minutes. It won't be from you because you're pushing this on. And, you're over talking me. You're not listening to anything that I'm saying because you're selling. And, you've got to think about this too, Sonia. A lot of companies are set up with these pitches and these comeback pitches. And if they say this, then you shoot back and you say this and not hearing what the person is actually saying. And
I just ended a relationship like that. I just ended one. I've been doing business with the company for about a year.
Wow.
And, yes. And have paid them and everything. And I'm like, you are pushing me right now. And if you don't stop, I'm like this close to telling you, take my money and go. I'm done. And I don't think they believed me. And I said, before the call was over, I said, I'm done. I'm finished. I'm serious. I'm finished. And I still don't think they believed me, but, I'm done. I'm not finishing the contract. There's not really a contract, but I'm finished. I'm not finishing the deal. The project is done.
I totally get that.
So,
we don't want to be talked to or talked at, So I definitely totally get that. It just has to be a relationship.
Has to be a relationship
in this.
So, Lafonya, you talk about how you have this excellent network and team that supports you there in the company, which I think is phenomenal because, we always talk about without having a great team, we can't do things, on our own. So talk about, who it is that you serve. Who are your ideal clients? And how do you help them?
Sure. We offer a great variety of products. We have various life insurance policies, but most important policies and things I really like to focus on is the life insurance with living benefits, the fixed index annuities, and one of the more important ones and often forgot about is college saving plans for your kids.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. The least talked about, but one of the most important. to have some money growing so that when they become of age, they have some help to pay for and get them through college. And my ideal client would be anyone, whether they're individuals, solo entrepreneurs, or families that are looking to either start their journey with their portfolio or broaden their portfolio. Also, I think a good referral for me would be someone who doesn't understand money and how it works. If you know that person that's just throwing it into a traditional savings account because that's what grandma said do.
Yeah. Put it under the mattress.
Yeah. Put it in a folder and save it and hide it in the house, or under the floorboard. That would be one of my ideal clients, someone who is not familiar with the money and the growth of money. So that would be it. And, I'm still there for small businesses. I have not left that ring of employee benefits and consulting with small businesses about HR and payroll products and employee reward programs. I haven't left that rim, but I think today I would like to just really zoom in and hopefully resonate and attract with those individuals that want that free education, even solo entrepreneurs, maybe, life insurance agents that are with a company now that they may feel unsupported or not experiencing their personal and professional growth. Maybe need to change their circle to kind of to get a step up in life and start growing their business. That's who I hope to attract today. Absolutely.
So there's a client that just came to my mind, and I don't even know whether you help this type of client or not. So if not, just say no. But what about the type of client that is in a workplace today and is considering leaving their workplace, maybe going to another workplace, and they need to consider moving that money? Is that a potential client for you?
Absolutely. That's a potential client for their portfolio. And also in that same situation, someone who's looking to make extra income. Maybe start something new, learn something new, transition out of a sales field they're in into a new sales field, or try sales for the first time altogether. And it can be at any age. It's never too late to start something like this. This is going to be one of the most important topics coming up here in the future. It is. The federal government has put in a mandate for all states to provide some type of retirement program for all small businesses. It has become, with all the homelessness, it's become top priority to make sure that as we get older, we're able to take care of ourselves. So this is the industry and the time to get into the industry, really.
Yes. Wow. I love that. So one other question comes to mind. And again, if this is not the realm, just let me know.
Okay.
But, I know there's so many people that don't even consider today to put back for their kids for college. They don't even consider putting back for pregnancies, things like that. I mean, I know, like, for example, when my husband and I, the very month that we knew we were going to have a child, the first thing that was on our mind was college, vehicles. How are we going to plan for that child and that child's children? And so the very thing that I did the week that we conceived, we knew, well, not that we conceived, but as soon as we found out that we were pregnant, I went and opened an account.
Oh, wow.
And we decided, what can we set aside and start saving? And we decided, on an amount, and we put that amount back every single month. We
Tonya,
did
that's
that,
very impressive.
LaFonda. Well, we did that up until even after he was married. We
Oh,
did
wow.
that every single month. We did not
That is
miss.
super impressive. It's impressive. And I will say this comfortably. I know for the Black community that I think is in a lot of our minds, right? But it's very hard for us to do that with the price of living, the cost of living, the everyday struggles that I, as a mother, experienced. I've always wanted to do something like that for my children, just could not afford it. But what I didn't know then is that I could have took a very small amount and let it grow. And
That's
it would
what
have
we
been
did.
something. It might not have been hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it would have been something. And today, we buy $6 coffees.
That's right. And that's what I tell
The most
people.
ridiculous things in this world. And not that they're not okay to enjoy sometimes, but some of us do it daily. And it's a mind thing to transition your mind to reevaluate how you spend money and change those behaviors and take the future serious. You have to want to live that life to where you're not wasting your money.
It was a non-negotiable for us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were months that were hard, but that thing right there, that was just like a bill. Yeah. It was a non-negotiable. It was going to happen because we knew if we didn't, it wasn't going to be there.
And what were you able to do? You were able, when he did go off to college, it was more enjoyable. It was a lot of stress-free off of you, wasn't it?
There was no stress
about how's this semester going to get paid. It took so much stress off you by just committing, making this a priority. And that's what we all have to do as individuals, as family, is make it a priority. And sometimes I like it in my own way. So I can only imagine others like thinking too big, like you have to put hundreds of dollars each month to it, and you do not. And the younger you start with your portfolio, you can gradually build up. And the later you start is where you're going to now have to make very big deposits because you waited too late. So starting to think about it now, whatever age you are, I'm talking to the customers, the audience, whatever age you are, you need to start right now. It's not something you can no longer afford to put off. Bread here, not bread, toilet paper. Toilet paper at this part-time job I had for like 12 rolls runs $30.
Wow.
I used to go to the store as a kid and get, a pack of toilet paper less than $1. That's going to be early 80s. We are 2023 and it's $30.
I know.
And we know it happens and we know we need it. So you have to have
That's
toilet
exactly
paper.
right. That's right. That's right. And so you need to look at those children and look at those things in the same ways of it's a non-negotiable. And so I try to educate people today in that you start looking at those things way back then, and then you don't worry today. And so, for him we finally just said, we're cutting you off after he got married. We were able to give him that amount and he put it towards a cell phone bill. And we finally were just like, okay, because we gave him that money after he got married, he was able to put that towards land and a home. And because we paid for his college and he still had money left over, and because we invested it as we got the money, we invested it and we taught him the principles of money. And so, he's got a good head on his shoulders today. And after he got married, we started giving him that amount. And then we were finally like, okay, we got to cut you off. This is gone. This is over. And, but in all seriousness, if you start that when and you just decide, what is the sacrifice? Even if it's $25, that $25 over 20 years, that grows. $25 a week, $25 a month, whatever that is. And you put it into an account that can earn more interest than, 0.5%. And maybe it's 0.5% is what it earns until it can get to $1,000, and then you can put it in something else. And that's what we did. It went into, a savings account until it got enough to where we could then bump it up to the next thing, and then bump it up to the next thing until we could buy, stock with that. And then the stock split, and then the stock split again. And, that's exactly the way that grew. And so, that's the education that we want to give people in, in this today.
Absolutely.
And so, wow.
We
So
definitely want them to look at money as it can grow. And most importantly, starting. Because,
yes.
you can want to every day of your life, but if you never put any action into it, you will blink and you'll be 50, 60 years old and it hadn't been done. Whether it's for yourself, for your children, for your grandchildren, it can be done. It can be done. You just have to trust and believe in yourself to do it and
right.
take action to do it.
That's right.
So
that's exactly right. I am so glad you were here today. So is there anything? I know we have great conversations when you and I get together. It's so much fun. So is there anything else that you want to add as value today?
If you don't mind, I'd like to do a shout out. I want to first give a shout out to the ladies at Platinum Benefits. They took me on right out the gate, showed me some ropes that I will take with me always. Those girls are hustlers. I'm always going to support all the ladies there at Platinum Benefits. So I definitely want to shout them out. I want to shout out my hairdresser. I had such a terrible time Friday. I walked into her shop. The shop is Tango and Locks in Everett, Washington. The customer service there alone. Tonya, it was what I need. It gave me the boost of energy that I need, gave me the confidence that I'm looking for, got me together. Look at me, I'm together.
You look beautiful.
Thank you so much. I definitely want to shout out Tango and Locks, Everett, Washington, to Leah Gardner. Thank you so much for your hospitality. I got $1,000 service and I paid a fraction of that cost. Just the customer service alone and the professionalism of those ladies in that shop was everything. Everything.
Well, that is great because it's hard to come by these days.
It is. And then another shout out to my accountability sister. Her name is Tracy Foreman. She's with Wells and Gunner. She is a virtual assistant. Tracy, we're doing it. We're doing it.
That's great.
On my list for accountability, and we can mark it off. Visit her website. She's Wells and Gunner, Tracy Foreman, virtual assistant. Thank you.
Fantastic. You are so welcome. So that is phenomenal. I'm all the time saying everybody needs an accountability partner.
Yes.
I have an accountability partner, and I'm telling you, you've got to have accountability partners to get things done. And so that is phenomenal that you gave those shout outs. That is great. And to mark those things off your list gives you more confidence and a sense of self-worth. That is phenomenal.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lafonya, for being here and being on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. And I want to add one call of action too. When this post and when any of your podcasts post, people, share the link. Share the link to the podcast for Tonya. Let's get Tonya out there. Wonderful, wonderful host. Just warm.
Thank you.
From this, you should get more one-on-one connections. People will benefit to connect with you.
Oh, thank you. That is sweet. Thank you.
Share the podcast.
Share this link. Absolutely. Yes. If you've not already.
That's one call of action. That's the one thing I ask. Share the
That's
podcast.
That is right. Share it or subscribe if you've not already subscribed to this podcast. Thank you so much, Lafonya.
You're welcome.
So yes. And so I appreciate you being on here. And for those of you in the audience, until the next podcast next week, thank you for attending. And we appreciate you being here on this episode, Influence and Growth Mastery. And until next week, we will see you another time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.